Hi, minasan konnichiwa, and welcome to the Board Game Dojo's Halloween special, where we are going to give you 5 spooktacular games for this Halloween season. From the charming to the scary, from the luck-based to the deeply strategic, we've got you covered with something, whatever it is your taste may desire. But before we begin, something smells real nice, and I'm getting really hungry. Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town, or PPDGTTGT for short, is a one versus all game. Everyone but one player will play the pizza deliverers, whose goal is to pick up and deliver a pizza to the house that ordered it on the board. The first player to accomplish this wins, but oh, you think it'll be easy? No, not in this ghost town. One player will play as the mayor, or GM, which I'm not sure means Game Master or Ghost Master in this game. And they will set up a 7x7 grid with ghosts, fences, and teleportation portals along with the aforementioned pizzas. These dastardly obstacles will be a ghostly thorn in the side of the pizza deliverers, and only the mayor knows where they are. The other players will be trying to deduce where everything is on their individual turns. On their turns, they can move, attack, or use a psychic power. By moving, they can learn more about their surroundings, including where ghosts are, fences are, and maybe, if they're lucky, the pizza they need to deliver. But if they attack a ghost, they can get a psychic power that can break the game in their favor. Some allow them to know specific locations where they otherwise would only know it vaguely. Some allow the deliverer to move super far on just one turn. And this back and forth is the crux of the game, the GM laughing maniacally at the constant obstacles in the way of the players, and the players thinking of how they can fulfill that order. Just one more pizza and my shift is over! This game is perfect for both friend groups and families who might be getting together. If one player is the most frequent gamer, they can be the GM, especially if other players want to defeat them, and they will have fun setting the traps for the others. But I really recommend having the person who is the biggest ham to be the GM, as they can really make the game more exciting, fun, and competitive. There's actually 2 ways you can play this game. The first way is the original way when this released in Japan in 2018, and that is where the GM actually cannot win the game at all. You just go until somebody wins, somebody delivers the pizza they're supposed to deliver. But in the board game tables version, and if you house ruled the old Japanese version, the GM can win if the players take more than 20 turns to deliver the pizza, so it's a survival game for the GM. It's an interesting one for sure because it definitely is one of those games that you have to be okay with people having different experiences while they're playing the game. The GM will be sweating bullets and laughing out of schadenfreude, while the other players will be somewhat stressed but be filled with determination. This game is the perfect holiday game, like A Nightmare Before Christmas is the perfect holiday movie. Not sure how many times I want to play it the rest of the year, but it'll remain in my collection to be brought out every October. And now that Board Game Tables has made it available in the US, it's now more accessible than ever. And now I really am just hungry, and I think we have our Halloween snacks ready. Ooh, some Halloween candy. Oh, nope. Best Candy on the Block is a light trick-taking game that is definitely more on the side of a family-friendly one than a hobbyist one. You'll start off your game choosing your kind of candy that you'll get bonus points for collecting throughout the game. These will remain secret throughout the game. Now, I'm not going to go over each rule to the game, but there are 2 things that I think make this game different. One is that there are multiple suits that cards can be. For example, this licorice counts as both a gummy and a fruit. And these can be played to whichever one, so even if it's not a perfect match, you can still play the card. There are something like 10 total suits in the game, which allows for a bit more flexibility. The other interesting difference is the special cards. Some of them are non-candy cards like rocks and coins, but others are prank cards, which are negative points for whoever wins the trick and can change who leads the next trick. And some are special power cards like this peanut card that can invalidate some treats due to allergens. This game is one of the more thematic trick takers, if ever there was such a thing. The art is charming and the different variants allow you to change the game to tailor your needs. The basic game is very light but still fun, and if you want more recommendations of games we recommend for introductory trick takers, you can check out this video that we did. But it offers the ability to join and have fun in a filler-length trick-taking game that isn't going to tire you out before you go off trick-or-treating. If you're a seasoned card game player or your family plays loads of them, I'm not sure this is particularly going to wow you in any way. But then again, it has a place in my collection simply because of how fun the theme is, how easy it is to teach, and how different variants can make the game even sweeter. One of my favorites is the stomach ache variant, in which the person who wins the most tricks actually loses because they ate so much candy that they got a tummy ache. It adds a little bit of strategy and a bit of push your luck, which is so fun because it feels so thematic. Like, is it worth it to go for one more trick and risk the stomach ache? Is it worth going to that creepy house that has the king-sized candy bars, even though your gut says... Road to Infamy is an interesting publisher, both because their games are so accessible and because, let's be honest, there's always a cool little gimmick. Kayak Canvas has sleeves in which you are physically building works of art. Their next Kickstarter project, Fulfilling, is a roll and write, but wait, the board is a 3D globe? And now here we have a nice spooky game in time for Halloween that includes a dice tower. But I am the sternest of critics. You will not get me on little mini gimmick. Oh, it has glow in the... Oh, those dice really do glow in the dark, huh? Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, alright, never mind, yeah. What, I'm intrigued, yeah, what's this? Don't Go In There is a push your luck style game with a little bit of set collection. The main decision you'll be making in Don't Go In There is how far to go into these rooms to get one of these cards that you want. The further you go into the room, then the earlier choice. So this one will say first choice, whereas this one will get to pick last. But the further you go into the room, the more damage you'll take from ghosts, or the more ghosts that you'll get. So for example, if green wants to have first choice, then orange wants this one. Not really sure how far. Now, once a third person goes in there, or a third meeple goes in there, it activates the room. So white's gonna go in there as well and go here. So then we'll roll the ghost dice here. Okay, and we'll see that, ooh, wow, that's doing a nice little spin move. Thanks for doing that. Alright. So we have 3 ghosts, which means that green doesn't get to absorb any of that damage. So green is going to take 3 ghosts from the supply, but they will get the first choice. Then orange will get 2 to get rid of 2 ghosts, so they'll only have to take 1 ghost of damage of the 3, then they'll get second choice, and white takes no damage from the ghosts and gets whatever is left to there. And that's the main crux of the game. I like that, again, this kind of feels more of the Haunted Mansion, kind of meets one of those 80s kids movies, where the whole premise of the game is that you're a bunch of kids who were told not to go in the house and definitely not to touch anything, but you inevitably do, and so no matter what happens in this game, it's just who can be the least cursed. But at the same time, the artwork on the cards is really cute. It's more like a Tim Burton style of art. And as to be expected from Road to Infamy, the production quality of this is great, with each ghost, with the nice little touches that each ghost is different, the glow-in-the-dark dice, as I just mentioned, and the cards even feeling really good. This is just strategic enough to keep people interested and not be so luck-based, where, kind of like Ink and Gold, it feels like whether you win or you lose is all based on how courageous you were. Should you have gone further into the room and then, actually, I could have gotten that card, but I was a little bit of a chicken, and therefore I didn't get the card that I wanted. That's your fault. Or did you go too far into the room and due to your hubris, you ended up just absolutely getting triple the amount of curses and ghosts as the next player. And I quite like that in this game. Again, it might hold the same place in my collection as Psychic Pizza Deliverers, where I don't know how many times I'm going to play this 10 months of the year, 11 months of the year, but in October this is definitely going to be one of the first ones I pull off the shelf. Due to its charming art and... Okay, wait, hold on. this is like 3 straight games where I'm talking about like a cute game or a charming game. Do we have anything scary here? It is Halloween, right? Oh, sweet, a little card game? I love these little... What the... Huh? What? If you want to talk about a grotesque theme, Karman Norm might just be your best bet this Halloween season. It's not even Halloween themed, really, but oh, it goes so well. And you wouldn't know it unless you read the source, so let me give it to you. There's an overpopulation problem due to the Grim Reaper really just slacking off. And it's your job as the Grim Reapers to, well, knock people's lights out. And they really go for it too, because your scorekeeping mechanism are little matches. Karman Norm is an area majority game that has a lot of little rules. I'm not going to teach them all here, but if you're interested in hearing a more proper teach instead of just a general overview, leave a comment below and I'll make a video for it. To start the game, each player will have the same hand of 6 cards that have pretty comical art for a game that's so grim. To begin with, each player will pick 2 cards in secret, one to be the last card to play in phase 1, and 1 card to be played first in the next phase. So remaining will be 4 cards. They will then use these 4 cards to play an area majority game with these towns, with the player who has the most value in each town being the winner. These towns allow you to kill a different amount of people, or at least light them up. I'll explain what that means later. But you have to be careful, because if 2 players in the same round, like in the same play the same value card, they both cancel each other out and will therefore be sent to the graveyard. There are also 2 special power cards, like the 2 that is the lantern, that allows you to change the locations of where the towns are. There's also the crow that flips it so that instead of the highest value being the majority, it now goes to the smallest value. Now, I mentioned that there are 2 phases to the game. The first phase being lighting people up. So in front of you, you'll have a extinguished side and a lit side. So you will light these people up. And that is important because after phase 1 is over, you will then flip these cards over to the nighttime side and recollect your cards, except for the one that you had chosen to play first, right here. You will then play a similar game in which you are now trying to move your matches over to the other side. Because then at the end of the game, let's say we end the game like this. These are the people you killed, and so these will be positive points. But these are the people that you left living, and so will therefore be negative points. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. I, to this day, still do not know if I recommend this game or not. Due to its unclear rules and difficulty to obtain, I guess I can understand why I'm the only one on BGG who has marked this as owned. But I think it's worth giving a shot and tracking down if you or your friends are interested in trying it. It's worth trying once before your light is knocked out. Just because in a game that only includes some cards and some matches, it really does invoke the same feeling that I get on those big, sprawling $200 area majority games. It feels distilled down, even though it still has a lot of little rules. It's a game in which you're going to struggle to get through the first time and maybe even the second, but after a while, you start to get each other's patterns. You start to get each other's strategies down. You only get to play 4 cards, and so each play that you have feels important, and this can leave some people with some analysis paralysis, even just from the beginning, where you're deciding which cards you're going to play in the first phase or which cards you're going to save for later. It's a little bit of risk reward. How much do I think I can get in the second phase, and I need to figure that out in the first phase. You have to plan ahead, And because of it, it is the most deeply strategic game that we will cover today. It is the game I can probably recommend to the least amount of people, but if this is up your alley, if you want a strategic game for this spooky time of year, I think Karman Norm might just be the best one we cover today. But the opposite of this game is probably a game that is super streamlined, and there might not be anybody better at it than the witch doctor Reiner Knizia. And our final game of today will be one from him. Tatari, or Curse, is one of the latest games from Reiner Knizia released in Japan. And before we get any further, who at Studio Mundi, the publisher, decided on this theme with like a super scary doll on the back? I mean, I get it, but holy smokes, this does not make me think that this is the kind of game that I'm actually getting. This game is a dice chucker. You're literally it is dice rolling luck mania. And speaking of mania, if you've played a couple of his earlier games, including Zombie Mania and Picomino, you probably already know mostly how to play this game.
In Tatari, the winner is the person who can get rid of these 10 really creepy dolls from their hand first. And you'll do that in one of two ways. But first, let me explain the dice that come in this game. The dice have different sides to it, some of which are numbers, like 4, some of which are dolls that might have 2 dolls or 1 doll, and then there's the special ichi side, and I'll explain that in a bit. If you roll a value that is 7 or greater, great job, because if you don't roll at least 7 values with these numbers, you bust. But you also need to roll more dolls than are on the current location. So let's look at this one right here. Our 8 location already has 1 doll in it. So if I roll a value of 8, but I only roll 1 doll, then I can't place any of my dolls onto the board because there's already 1 doll there. But if I roll 2 dolls to put there, then I can put 1 there. The other rule is this ichi, which means 1 in Japanese. But this one is interesting because it not only adds 1 to the value of what you rolled, but if you're able to put a doll onto that location, you may also give 1 doll from your hand to another player. This is really important later because the winner of this game is whoever starts their turn with 0 dolls in their collection. What this means is they might be able to get rid of their dolls by putting them on the board, and then the other players will go around in a circle trying to give them the dolls from their hand so that they can't win. The other important thing to mention is just how the dice are taken. So when you roll, you are allowed to take pairs if you have them. So for example, I have a pair of this, and so I can take that pair. But for the rest of my turn, I can re-roll the dice, but I cannot take any more with that symbol on it. And I'll roll again here. Okay, I think I'm just going to take, you don't have to take both of them. I'm going to take 4 because I really need to get at least a 7 here. I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, there's the ichi power and a 3, lovely. Now here is where I'm at a bit of an impasse. I've taken a 4 and a 3 and a 1 and then the 2 dolls. I cannot take any of these for the rest of my rolling. So here is where I have a decision and what makes this a push your luck game. I was able to get to a 7. If you're not able to get to a 7 with your dice, then you bust. But it also happens that if I were to, with my last die here, or any number of die that you have left, roll, and you can only take stuff that you have already rolled before, which again, you can't do. Once you take that die, you cannot take another one of the same symbol, then you also bust. So what am I going to do here? Am I going to risk it? No, I think I'm good.
Tatari is, out of the 5 games today, probably the game that I can recommend to the most people, the most general people. You want to play a game with kids? Get this one. You want to play a game with 3 of your friends who are hobbyist gamers? Get this one. Generally speaking, this is the one that I would recommend, especially for this time of year. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the art and the theming because it very confused. They did it so well. The art in this game is great for what minimal art is needed. It really does a great job of invoking the theme. The creepy dolls make me want to get rid of them, and especially I want to give them to my friends, and I want to get them back to the shrine. I want to get them purified, please. And because of this theme, the little bit of take that there is works. And kind of in a more like existential way, like the curses that happen upon you are sometimes not really your fault. It's just going to happen, and you're going to try to get rid of it, and especially in that last turn when, because the rules are written that you have to start your turn with 0, that turn in which you have all your dolls gone, you have put the last doll somewhere else, and it goes around the table, and one at a time, everybody is just trying to get you that doll. That last round is so tense. That last round is so tense. It always makes everyone at the table just, like, every die roll is a breath, and then that bust of, okay, I'm safe another time. All right, you're going to try to curse me now. It really is a joy. Dr. Knizia had let me down a little bit as of lately. He let me down personally. I want to get that out there with Llama, but this one has put him back in my designers I'm looking out for. I think that this one is an underrated hidden gem, partly because I think you can only get it in Japan right now, if I am not mistaken. But I hope that they give this a wider release so more people have a chance to play it during Halloween season. Ooh, I got the hiccups. And there you have it, 5 spooktacular games we recommend for you to play this Halloween season. We hope that at least one of them piqued your interest, and if one of them did, leave a comment below which one. Until next time, done it! Happy Halloween, everyone! Woof woof!